So in the last miniatures video, I talked about my first Warhammer mini that I ever built or painted. I talked about the forge that I built to facilitate my hobby, and a couple of the tips and tricks that I was taught in my first experience. Well, this is going to be my very first solo project. For this, I chose Awlrach the Drowner, a Night Haunt. Now, tabletop gaming wise, my knowledge is zilch. Would I be happy to learn? 100%. But for the meantime, if I see a model and I think it looks cool, then that is what I'm going to get and make and paint. So Mr. Awlrach here was perfect, because who doesn't love spoopy ghost ferrymen? So straight out of the box you get 3 sprues, a base and an instructions manual. Another thing I had off screen that will be relevant for painting later will be the Citadel Color app. You can download that on your phone for free. Find your mini on there and put it into your projects folder, and it will show you a more detailed guides of paints and how to achieve certain looks. Also, for the recording of this, do forgive me, I haven't quite got the knack of what recording setup I want to go with for now, but I promise it will improve in future videos. At first I was quite delicate, then almost made the mistake of cutting every piece out before following the instructions, but I made that save early on. That being said, the smell of the glue took me back to my childhood of building model planes. Had I stuck at that, I might have been an excellent painter and crafter by now. Once Awlrach was assembled, I primed him in grey cere, broke out some Dryad Brown for the boat, and got to work. One thing I did learn was that I didn't have all the paints before starting this project, so I had to make a quick pit stop and grab them, but once that was sorted, I got to work, and again, that Citadel Color app will show you the colours needed in the project. I left the boat and Awlrach separately and painted them individually before joining them together once they were both painted. I also kind of wish I had done this for the internal parts of the ship, as they were quite tricky to get at later on during the painting process. Attaching Awlrach was also a little tricky too, but I managed to get it. Now I know I haven't recorded all the painting I have done, as you can probably tell with the jumps in this video. Otherwise, the whole video might have been the 4 days that I had worked on this project. But maybe that is something that you would want to see, or I'm open to suggestions. As I said, this was mainly about documenting my process, recording my thoughts along the way, and the deeper I got into it, the more I kind of stepped away from following the box art and made it my own, mixing a couple of contrast paints to achieve his ghostly shape and the other ghostly creatures as well. I really enjoyed the contrast paints. I thought I'd recorded me crafting the base, but it seems that footage got lost, or it was never recorded in the first place. But for that, I glued down some terrain after taking an outline of where I wanted the model to sit, added a tuft of grass for added effect, and that was me done. So what do you think of my first time solo project with only one tutorial under my belt? I feel I didn't do too badly. I learnt a lot of things along the way during this project, and to be honest, I really enjoyed the whole process and I'm quite pleased with the end result. I also feel that I broke the boundary of, oh, it must be like the box art to be right, and I'm kind of glad that I made it my own colour scheme in the end. So let me know what you think, and let me know what I should tackle next. I have a few projects in their boxes ready to go, but as always, suggestions are very much welcome.